First, let x equals the first number. Second, let y, our second number, will be y. Okay, now we convert every statement right here in the problem into into number form. So the first one, it says the product of two positive numbers. So it's product, so that means we need to multiply the two numbers. So our first number x multiply to our second number y. So x times 1. The product is, so when we see is in the given statement, that's equals 4 square root of 3. So meaning the product of two positive numbers, x, y, is 4 square root of 3. From there, you have this first equation. Now we are asked to find the numbers, so the x and y, that the sum is, okay, s of the square of 1. Of the square of 1. So one number. So let's say that is x squared. And the cube of the other. So we have y cubed. So s is equal to x squared plus y cubed, since we're talking about the sum of the two. So from here, since we are asked to find the sum that will um, that will make it small as possible, the square of one number and the cube of the other, small as possible. So what we're going to do is we need to set this as our main equation, because this is what we're going to differentiate, right? Because um, it's stated what we need to minimize is the sum of the square of one and the cube of the other. So that is our main equation. So if that's our main equation, that is what we're going to differentiate, and we need to express that in one variable. So expressing that in one variable, we will make use of this given right here. So expressing that as, let's say we could have x is equal to 4 square root of 3 over y. So from there, we substitute that to our main equation. So we have s is equal to 4 square root of 3 over y. We square this, and that's plus y cubed. So this is now our new main equation. So simplify. We just need to simplify. So we get s is equal to 4 squared. So this will be 4 squared, square root of 3 squared over y squared plus y cubed. According to our rule, um, a over b raised to m is just equal to a to the m over b to the m. And a times b, that quantity raised to m, is just a to the m times b to the m. Okay, so that's how we got 4 squared, square root of 3 squared over y squared. And simplifying further, we'd get s is equal to 4 squared, that's 16. Square root of 3 squared, that will just cancel out, and we'd be left with 3. So 16 times 3, we multiply that, and we'd get 48. So 48 over y squared plus y cubed. Okay, so this is now our equation, some equation that we need to differentiate, because it's already in one variable. We can now differentiate it. S prime is equal to, we have 48 y to the negative 2, right? So that's just 48, the constant. We factor it out, and we'd have negative 2 y to the negative 3 plus 3y squared, and we equate that to 0 to get our value for y. That will make the sum small as possible. So we have here 48 times 2, 48 times negative 2. we have negative 96. So s prime is equal to negative 96 over y cubed plus 3y squared. And that's just equal to 0. And from there, we'd get, simplifying, we'd have y cubed as the LCD so that we could make this into one fraction so that we could cross multiply later on. So y cubed over y cubed divided by y cubed, that's just 1 times negative 6, we'd get negative 96 rather. So we'd get negative 96. Y cubed divided by 1 right here. So any expression that is not in fraction form, you could just put 1 in the denominator. So we have y cubed divided by 1, that's just y cubed, times 3y squared, we would get 3y to the fifth. Because remember, when we have this one right here, x to the a times x to the b, that's just x to the a plus b. Okay, so y cubed times y squared, that's a y to the 3 plus 2. So y to the fifth. Copy the operation plus, and we get 0. And from here, we just cross multiply. And cross multiplying, we would just get, this is a whole number, right? 0. So 0 over 1. So cross multiplying, 1 times negative 96 plus 3y to the fifth, it's still the same. Negative 96 plus 3y to the fifth. And that's equal to 0. And now solving for y, we'd get 3y to the fifth equals 96. And divide 3 both sides of the equation, we'd get y to the fifth equals 96 over 3. And solving for y, using our calculator, we would have 96 divided by 3, that's just 32. Taking the fifth root, or that's just 32 raised to 1/5, we'd get 2. Y is now equal to 2. So we got our second number, which is y equals 2. And since we were asked to find the numbers, so the two numbers, we also need to solve for x. So we could make use of our s. So s is equal to s equation. So s is equal to, I know, we could make use of our given equation, which is xy is equal to 4 square root of 3. So xy equals 4 square root of 3. We have x times 2 is equal to 4 square root of 3. And then now, we divide 2 both sides of the equation so that we'd get our value of x. 4 divided by 2, that's just 2. So we'd get 2 square root of 3. So we now have the value of our numbers, which is x. The first number should be 2 square root of 3. And the second number is